Hi everyone, welcome back to EGAOFL channel. Let's study English. Okay, so today we will continue to the part 2 for Toefl preparation, mainly to talk about structure and written expressions. In the previous video, I have mentioned that we have already discussed the point 1 until 5, which are sentences with one clause, object of prepositions, appositive, present participle, and also past participle. And in this part, we will talk about 3 points, which are coordinate connectors, adverb times, and cause connectors, and also other adverb connectors. Okay, and in skill 6, the grammar that you have to master is about coordinate connectors. So what is coordinate connectors? It is several connectors that you use to coordinate one sentence into another. The example of coordinate connectors are and, but, or, so, and yet. For your information, but and yet has similar meaning. And how to use coordinate connectors in sentence. So now let's learn about the sentence patterns. So you use subject verb and then put comma after that, and then put the coordinate connectors. In this context is but. She laughed, but she wanted to cry is also subject and verb. So the pattern is SV, comma, coordinate connectors, SV. Let's take a look to the example. Okay, in this example, a power failure occurred. That is a comma. This is the subject, occurred is the verb. This is the subject, this is the verb. So what you need to put is actually only the connectors. Now let's take a look to the option A, B, C, and D. What is a connector? Then it's not the coordinate connector. Letter is not the coordinate connector. Next is also not the coordinate connector. So the best answer is B. The power failure occurred, so the lamps went out. And in skills 7, the grammar is about adverb times and cause connectors. So there will be 2 adverbs that we will be discussed about the time and also the cause. And for the time, you can use here after, as long as soon as, before, by the time, once, since, until, when, whenever, and while. For the cause, you can use as, because, in as much as, now that, and also since. This is because and since has similar in meaning and also in use. Now let's take a look to the patterns. So different from the previous skill 6, which is about coordinate connectors, and adverb time and cause connectors, you do not put any comma after the subject and verb. Let's take a look to the example. Here there is subject verb. Teresa went inside, and you do not need any comma here. No. And after subject verb, it's directly using adverb connectors and also subject verb again. And if you want to change the positions of adverb connector, it is totally possible for you. You can change it to the initial of the sentence like this. So adverb of connector and then subject verb And don't forget to put any comma here. And after that, subject verb again. So, subject verb, adverb connector, subject verb, or adverb connector, subject verb, comma, subject verb. Now, let's take a look to the example. Okay. And in this example, you found that space was late. I missed the appointment. Okay, so look at here. There is a comma here. Means that the connector will be here. But look at this. In this space, after the space, there is was. Is the verb. Okay, so before the verb, we need to put subject actually. So means that in this sentence you need connector and also the subject. So which one? Great, it should be D, since as the connector and he as the subject. And now in skill 8, it talks about other adverbs connector. So in skill 8, actually similar to skill 7, it's still about the adverbs, about the connectors. But that's only several kinds. So the adverb is about condition, contrast, manner, and also place. So adverb of condition are if, in case, provided, providing, unless, and whether. For the contrast is although, even though, while, and whereas. For the manner is as and in that, and for the place is where and wherever. For the pattern is actually similar to the adverb connectors in skill 7. So the pattern will be subject verb, and then you use adverb connector in the middle of the sentence and also subject verb again. And if you want to use the adverb connectors and the initial of the sentence, you have to put comma in the middle of the sentence. So adverb connectors, subject verb, comma, and subject verb. Now let's take a look to the example. Okay, so in this example, you will get a good grade on the exam provided blah 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 blah. Okay, so you will get is actually subject and also the verb. A good grade on the exam is just the object. Provided, okay, provided here as the connector. Okay, because the connector is in the middle of the sentence, so you do not need put any comma around here. Okay, and after the connector, what you have to have in your sentence, of course, is the subject and verb. So please try to find the subject and the verb from the option A, B, C, and D. A, studying, there is no subject. Study, that's only verb, not the subject. To study, no. And of course, the correct answer is D, you study. Okay, and now let's take a look to the number 2. The prisoners were prevented from speaking to the reporters because space. So there is a connector because. The prisoners is a subject, were is a verb. So after because, you have to put as and V again. So let's take a look to the option A. Not wanting the story in the paper. Not wanting is not the subject verb. So it's impossible answer. B. The story in the paper, the superintendent did not want. It may possible since there is a noun here, the story, and also there is did not want is the verb. But let's take a look to the another. The public to hear the story, that is no verb here. And D, the superintendent did not want the story in the paper. It is SV again. So B and D is actually SV. What about the word order? The best answer is D. The superintendent did not want the story in the paper. Because the word order is more logic rather than B. Okay, and now let's discuss number 3 and also 4. Number 3, like Thomas Berger's fictional character Little Big Man's, Lauderdale managed to find himself where space of important event took place. Okay, so here there is a subject, and then managed to find is the verb, and where here is the connector. So as we have already known, after the connector there should be S and also V, similar to number 2. Okay, so in this space it is possible to use subject and also verb, but let's check after the space. Of important event took place. Okay, there is verb also. Here is the verb took place is the verb, so means that this space is only need the subject. The subject here can be the noun, so please find subject in the form of noun. A. It was an extraordinary number. It was. No. It was is subject and verb. There was an extraordinary numbers for B. That's also no. There was is also subject and verb. C. An extraordinary number. That is noun phrase. And D. An extraordinary number existed. That's the verb. So you just need the noun here. Means that the correct answer is C. And number 4. Space sucked groundwater from below. Some parts of the city have begun to sink as much as 10 inches annually. Look at here, there is a comma. Okay, so if there is a comma, means that it is about adverb connectors. So the connector will be here. This is the connector. And look at here. What is it? It is actually a verb. Okay, so what you need to put is the connector plus the subject. So fine. A. Pumps have. No, there is a connector. As pump have. Yes, there is connector as. So there's a connector, but so is not used in the initial of a sentence. With pumps, no. That's the preposition. So the best answer is B, as pumps have. Okay, now let's try to discuss number 5. Case studies are the target of much skepticism in the scientific community, space, used extensively by numerous researchers. There is a comma in the middle of the sentence. So, it is actually coordinate connector. It is like but, yet, and etc. So it will be really easy actually. Look at option A, B, C, and D. Only C and D have the connector. So A and B, it's impossible. So now we try to compare between C and D. Which one is the best answer? Okay, after this, that is used extensively by numerous by is actually for the passive. Okay, and in a passive, what you have to remember is what be with the verb 3. Use here is already the verb 3, so you need to have be, and be here is this using are. So the right answer is D. Now let's move to number 6. And in number 6, according to the hypothesis in this study, the monarchs pick up the magnetic field of the space created by the following magnetic field. Okay, the monarchs pick here is the subject and also the verb. Okay, and this is the space. We need to know what is it about. And there is migrate here is the verb. So you need to put subject and also the connector, right? So which one is the subject and also the connector, or connector and also the subject? Target monads, there is no connector. Target since, yes, there is a since. Target since monads are okay. And then D is target, no connector. So let's compare between B and C. Okay, look at B and C, and also look at something after the space here. Migrates, okay, is actually the first one. So if it is the first one, you do not need put R here. So the best answer is B. And now let's move to the number 7. Space. Show the relation among neurons, okay, they do not preclude blah 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 until important. So there is a comma here, means that it is not about coordinate connectors, it's about the adverb. So if there is a comma in the middle of the sentence, the adverb will be here. And look at here, show is this verb. Okay, they, subject, do not is also verb. So this space need adverb and also the subject. It's so easy. So try to find adverb and also the subject. Neural theories, no. Neural theory, no. Although, yes. Although, however, it's also yes. So now let's try to compare between C and D. From the context statement, what you need is actually the contrast. So you need to put C, although. Okay, for your information, the use of however is actually like this. Subject, verb, okay, and final, and then however, comma, SV again, like this. And now let's talk about number 8. Space or refinance, the lender will generally require setting up an escrow account to ensure the payment of property taxes and homeowners insurance. Okay, there is a comma in the middle of the sentence. So, and after the comma, there is no connector like coordinate connectors such as but and others. So we can think that this space here is adverb. because after the space there is no subject, so you need to put subject. And look at here, reference is the verb, but there is word or, means that it should be verb again, because it should be parallel. So after or, after and, after but should be parallel. If there is verb here, so before should be verb. So what you need to put for the space is adverb, subject, and also the verb here. Let's take a look to option A. A home is. That is subject and verb, but not the adverb. A home is both. There is subject and the verb, but not the verb again. When a home, that's correct, there is when a home, but there is no verb. So the right answer will be D. When is the adverb, a home is the subject, and is both is the verb. Now let's move to the number 9. In number 9, if ultraviolet radiations enters the Earth's atmosphere, space generally blocked by the ozone concentrated in the atmosphere. Okay, so the connector here is if. There is a comma here. This is ultraviolet radiation is the subject, enters is the verb, means that this space you need to put as and also V. So just find as and V. It no verb. It is yes, that's right. So it is, you do not need to put so. Then it that's incorrect. So the best answer is it is. It as the subject and is as the verb. And now let's move to number 10 for the last exercise that we have had in this video. Among humans' chromosomes, the Y chromosome is unusual space. Most of the chromosomes does not participate in meiotic recombinations. Okay? So the Y chromosome subject is as the verb. Okay, unusual space. Most of the chromosome, again, the chromosome, this is also the subject, and doesn't participate is the verb. So you need to put only the connector here. So the best connector is in not connector. So it's possible, and it's possible, and in that it's also possible. So we have 3 here. Which one is the best? The best answer is actually in that, because in that is also similar to because. Okay, that's all our videos today. We do hope that our explanations is clear enough for you and give you very clear understanding about Toefl, mainly about the structure and the written expressions. So we will meet again in the next video for the part 3. See you.